welcome to the Go Falle Cycling Podcast. Our today's guest is Chirag Parmanand, who has recently completed Kashmir to Kanyakumari, which is a distance of 3,650 kilometers in just 14 days, which is like approximately 250 to 300 kilometers every single day. So, in this podcast, he's going to share his experience of this whole journey, how he trained for it, what nutrition he followed, overall, how was the road conditions, and everything that you can think of. So, without any further delay, let's get started.
Hey, hi Anish, good to see you, man. Long time we have not rode together, but
Yes.
yeah, glad to be over the line as far as Kashmir to Kanyakumari is concerned. So, I am a chartered accountant by profession. I work into audit department in one of the big fours in Mumbai, and I do cycling since around 2015, 2016 Saksham Cyclothon. But I was regular into this cycling of from 2021, wherein I started doing BRMs, Mumbai being the first BRM. And from there, the journey all began climbing Borghat, climbing Matheran, doing all the BRMs with our club, NMKC, getting the backing, doing DNFs and whatnot. So yeah, the journey all began from, I would say the competitive journey began from 2021. I've been cycling since maybe quite a long time. 15, 16 was just that push through wherein a Saksham cyclothon came and I continued. So yeah, that's my bit about the cycling and the professional journey I've done.
थोड़ा सा tell us about your BRMs. Like you said DNFs.
Okay,
So
so
थोड़ा
I have
DNF
done
के बारे में.
around, well, I have done around 22 to 25 BRMs. Good
Hmm.
BRMs in Mumbai, maybe Mumbai, Dhule, Mumbai. Then Mumbai, Goa twice. My first DNF was Mumbai, Goa at 592 kilometers. Then there was a 300 DNF at 294 kilometers because my spoke broke. So yeah, there were
अच्छा.
many other BRMs. I did a few 400s, few 600s, nearly done 5 to 6 600s. Good 200 BRMs. Climb if you can, one of the good editions twice.
Hmm.
Then
Climb if
yeah,
you
so on and so forth.
climb if you can
Cycling
is like
has been a good journey,
2,400.
especially with the BRMs. Firstly, it was group rides with Pawai pedals, then my group, Airoli Cycling Enthusiast. I did few group rides with you, the Marshes Ghat, which we did, the
Yes.
Igatpuri Bhavli Dam ride, which we did. From there,
Hmm.
we got to know each other well. Then started riding the BRMs with you, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's all about BRMs and the long distance cycling. I did one long distance cycling of Mumbai to Delhi in 2021 of around 1,500 kilometers with the
Oh.
Kalyan riders. So that was the biggest ride before Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And then after, proper training for six and a half months, I took this challenge. And how about it? I can tell you in the later stages that how about how I planned and who backed me up, etc.
Hmm. तो
to you
हम
know
लोग okay. So before we go ahead towards K2 के discussion, tell me कि तुम्हारा सबसे difficult 600 BRM or like difficult 200 BRM सबसे challenging according to you was what?
see my
Or not BRM?
200 BRM was difficult because I did not know about any nutrition or anything of that sort. I had done climb if you can the three guard challenge, Matheran plus Borghat plus Tiger Hill by
Hmm.
just eating basic things and just riding all along in the different temperatures and just to meet the cutoffs. So that was my difficult BRM because I did not eat well and ended up puking in Tiger Hill because of not eating and of the improper food habits, I would say. Because that
Hmm.
I had no energy in Tiger Hill, and it was Siddharth, the NMKC person, who backed me up all the time and helped me complete it and made me a rider what I am today. So that there's a significant contribution of our club NMKC in whatever long rides I have done today. So that
Nice.
is how
I
my
agree.
BRM journey began.
So with respect to क्या bad nutrition में what were you eating? Bad nutrition means what
Yeah, I
according
did
to
not
you?
eat only that time. I
अच्छा.
was very new to cycling. I loved climbing and just took this challenge. saying, let's see how it goes. So Matheran was good. Matheran I did non-stop with the hybrid. Coming down to Bhorghat, I was tired because it was around 32 to 35 degrees when I started climbing Bhorghat. Somehow I managed to climb Bhorghat, and then I was running short of time and had to meet that timeline for Tiger Hill. So I reached Tiger Hill hardly before 5 to 8 minutes.
Hmm.
And there also I couldn't eat much, and I was about to tell Sid that it is it now, I need to go. Wherein Sid convinced there is 24 kilometers of descent, there's nothing left in the BRM now. Just have something, have salt and all, and then you can start. So
Okay.
from that was a learning point from when I realized that if there is proper nutrition, there is a point to ride. If there is no proper nutrition, the rides are going to be difficult and you cannot enjoy the ride.
Hmm.
We do BRMs for enjoying it as well. The distance is important, the time is important. But then if we are spending, say we are doing a 400 BRM and we are spending 27 hours, there is no point struggling to complete that BRM and not enjoying that BRM. That won't make any sense. So yeah,
Hmm.
there is an important part which nutrition plays, the riders play, and the route plays. So that is how you start enjoying those BRMs.
नाइस सो फ्रॉम इतने सारे बीआरएम्स के जर्नीज के बाद कब व्हेन यू डिसाइडेड दैट यू वांट टू डू K2K कब ये डिसाइड हुआ लाइक हाउ डिड द आइडिया
See,
कम इनटू दिस
I would say it
हिंदी
was in
में बात कर
February
सकते
20. नहीं, that's okay. I'll English,
अच्छा
Hindi जो भी है, हिंदी में switch करना है तब मैं कर दूंगा. I would say February 23 was the time when I just had a casual discussion after my Mumbai Delhi in 2022, which I did with Kallan Brandon, was with my parents. My parents backed me up, saying yes, you do K2K, especially my dad. So February 23, I decided. Unfortunately, my dad passed away in April. So I was like, with 2 or 3 months in hand, I was like, let's start preparing. K2K being such a significant distance, there was this one group, Delhi Randomers, which used to do it. And there were few of our people like Sashikant Patole, who was one of the men who had done K2K and with whom I had spoke to. And I thought I should register. So I registered for it, started paying the installments, and then looking at my preparation, I said riding without any preparation would make sense. So I
हम्म
resorted to coaching with Dr. Amit Samarth,
ओ
wherein it was a structured training of around 5.5 to 6 months, wherein I did a lot of strength training, I did a lot of good cycling, I did a lot of productive things. I mean, I did not like do BRMs that time. I did good cycling of around 8 hours. I did good strength training of around 1 hour, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes. And I had the consistency by the grace of God for over 4 to 6 months. Uh, Ideally, if anyone are to do any event, it is the preparation which matters the most. So if you are well prepared, then you do the event.
हम्म
So I just
तो
registered for the event and then start preparing. Ideally, it should be the other way around.
बट अमित समत के साथ when you started training so you are saying 8
Hmm.
hours means 8 hours in a week cycling
No,
correct
no,
and it
not
was
8 hours in a
indoor or
week.
outdoors then
No, no, no. It was indoors for weekdays and outdoors for the weekends. So it
hmm.
used to be 8 hours a long ride in the weekend. I did not count the weekdays in
Oh.
it. So overall, you can consider around 20 hours of training in a week,
Including strength training.
including strength training. So
Strength
I
training,
used
how
to
many
do
sessions?
around 2 to 3 sessions of strength training. I used to do which
Okay.
was too good. I mean, too good. It was very basic, but you won't believe I did around 100 to 120 squats, 100 to 120 mountain climbers, and other variations of the full body. That was the reason I realized when I was doing K2K, it did, by the grace of God, I did not get any pain in the body. My
Hmm.
muscles were good. All my muscles were used to my cycling muscles. Then my core, if you call, all were being properly built up, and then the rides was much more comfortable than I predicted because it was more of strength training rather than just cycling around.
Okay. So strength
cycling along
training.
distances.
Okay. So let's say एक session है strength training का 2 to 3 times a week you're doing. So उसमें it's like कैसे था? Push day, एक day, pull day, one day
See,
ऐसा था कि
it was the his sessions were very basic. So it used to start with basic warm up and end with the cool down. So first, I mean, it was basic variation. So it was leg day once, it was the upper body once, it was one day full stretching, including the band. I used a
okay,
lot of ankle weights. I used dumbbells for the shoulder and leg exercises. So those were the different combinations which were there.
okay. So
It was
to sum
I
up,
skipped also. I did a lot of
अच्छा you
skipping as
skip.
well. Yeah,
Okay,
so those are few of the things which were there. I also
okay,
took the help of a nutritionist, wherein
okay.
2 to 3 months back I was being guided as to what to eat and what not to eat. Now, I being 100% vegetarian, paneer and
Hmm,
dal were one of the main sources of protein which I resorted to. And that
hmm.
is how I started my diet as to what to eat in the morning, what to do about in the evening, and then at the night. So yeah, these small things matter a lot if you are to enjoy these long rides and do it successfully. So by the grace of God,
Okay.
I enjoyed the long rides. Yes, how about the journey went? I'll go ahead and talk about it.
So to sum up, training means completed in approx February 2024, and 4 to 6
Yeah.
months before that you started
So
proper
I
training.
started somewhere in July, August.
Okay, in July, August you started training. Over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
then you did approx 20 hours of training in a week, which included
Yeah, yeah.
3 to 4 hours of strength training. And cycling, you must
Perfect.
have done intervals, long
Yeah,
rides.
I did intervals. I did intervals, then long rides on weekends around 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers, 200 kilometers. But then
Hmm,
that with trying to be doing at a decent speed and with minimum breaks, with
hmm,
good time,
correct. So what was
with
the
that not
longest?
being leisure.
Correct.
So longest ride was around 150 to 200 kilometers, not more than that.
Bus.
But it was done on a weekly basis. So that was the consistency. Once upon a time, I used to pedal 200, 250 to 300 kilometers per week. So doing that per
Hmm.
week, the mileage used to be good.
Okay. So 250 to 300 kilometers every week for the 4 to 6 months, the same approx.
Yeah, mostly. It used to be a little here and there. Two, three
Hmm.
weeks would have been a little here and there due to office schedule or some other way. But yes, if you leave that, I think I was no giving that consistency to
To
my
the
training
training.
because that was going to help me to do whatever I
Hmm.
wanted to do.
Okay. So let's talk about like K2K. Who organized
Yeah.
this and
See, it
how
was
did
being
you come to know
organized by
about this?
See, it was being done by our fellow riders, mainly Sashikant Patole, you might know, one of the
Yeah.
best riders in Mumbai. Call it
Hmm.
call it a BRM or call it a long ride. You name him and he used to be everywhere. So
Yes.
yeah, I heard from him. He had done a few rides with Delhi Randonneurs. So I had a purpose for doing this. So I did not go much into how they organize and what they do and what they do not do. So I registered and started training for it. And yes, I mean I eventually paid the amount and got ready for the event. Left for Kashmir on
Yes.
February 22nd, 2024.
Okay.
Uh, Keeping in mind the snow conditions, it was raining, there were a lot of avalanche, etc. As usual, it was Inder Paji who made my polygon from a Sora group set to a 105 group set with a ceramic bearing and a
बाप रे
carbon wheel.
ये
So
तो
it was only done by one and only Inder Paji out there, just for the sake of event. The wheels were good too. I mean, it is an event which tests these wheels. The wheels were not Mavic wheels or anything of that sort, but they were good carbon wheels. The terrain
okay.
was different. So yeah, the terrain was different. So I guess the wheels were not The wheels did not work all 3,600 kilometers smoothly. There were hiccups, but then the bike was fantastic. I mean, the way Inder Paji changed my
Yes.
Sora into the 105 group set with a 11 speed from a 9 speed, it was
Hmm.
amazing. I mean,
So
too good.
wheels, yeah, one of I temporarily you had put, or is it permanent
No,
now?
no, no, it is permanent only. I can remove it obviously, but then I don't
Okay.
wish to remove it now. That's a different story altogether.
Of
So
course.
yeah, it was
So
105
for
group set. Then it's yeah,
so you have a Polygon Stratos S3, correct? Which has a
yeah. I have a polygon
Sora
set.
group set.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So tell us about your journey. The 22nd February, you
So
took
yeah,
the flight.
see. The first thing before I start my journey, it was my parents, especially my father, who backed me up. Then to leave my mother alone for around 3 weeks, she backed me up every now and then. Then it was my closest family member, Nirali, who backed me up every time. So there were these few people whom were my backbone of the support, who supported me every day, every 3 4 hours. What's the update? What's not the update? And then it was our cycling fraternity, Keshav and Mayur, who helped
Oh,
me what I've never done to a cycle when I reached Kashmir. And I had taken a cycle bag from Anita. If you know Anita,
Anita,
Anita gave her
yes.
cycle bag. Yeah, Anita gave a cycle bag. I removed my cycle, and then the chain was removed from the jockey wheel. So I had to remove my entire chain. I never removed the chain, and I had to do it that way. And I had to refix the chain. It was Keshav and Mayur who helped me nearly 2.5 to 3 hours on a video call to fix that chain and get my bike ready for the event day.
Yes.
So yeah, that was one hell of a
20,
journey.
hmm. 22nd
So
February, you
22nd I
left.
reached. Yeah, 22nd I left. 22nd I rested. 23rd I assembled my bike. 24th, I made few changes. There were some gear shifting issues and all, which I sorted it out with the local people. I had a
Hmm.
local ride of around 20 kilometers in and around Dal Lake. And 25th, we began. It was only two people. So I would like to describe the second person, Saison Frank. So this
Okay.
guy is a bloody 59-year-old athlete. He is a world champion. He was the person who did 30 Ironmans in 30 days. He was the
Baapre.
only second person in the world to have done it. He was a two-time Ram finisher solo. Okay. And he had done 174 Ironmans. He
Baapre.
was an ultra distance runner in India of 222 kilometers, 333 kilometers, 461 kilometers. The 461 kilometers was from Manali Leh to Khardungla. He was the only person who had completed that race. So that
Baapre.
guy, 60-year-old, he had a fantastic bike. He used to reach nearly 4 hours early to me. But when you talk to that guy, he's so humble. The organizer did not come to receive me, but he used to make it a point to come daily, receive me at the end point of that particular day, give me proper water and nutrition, whatever he has kept for me from the organizer used to order food for me and give me as in what help I need for first half hours and then go to sleep. So that was very kind of him. With the athlete he was, Cezanne Frank is his name, one of the best athletes I've ever seen.
Super, yaar. You must have learned a lot from him.
Lot. I mean, I learned a lot. And he
So
was also
you
like
put,
us only. He used to eat very basic. I mean, nothing extraordinary he used to eat. He used to eat whatever he used to get on the roads. Then, some Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or
hmm,
some liquid which, during the heat helps one to get rid of the heat
limbu
and
pani.
do those long distances. So yeah, he was an
Hmm.
amazing person.
You both only were there. Only two people.
Yeah, yeah, K2K. I tell you guys,
How
I do
come?
BRMs alone. I happen to do the entire K2K solo.
हाँ, because he used to go ahead,
Entire
you're
K2K.
saying.
Yeah.
अरे
He used to be
भाई,
ahead by around 4.5 to 5 hours. He used to ride at a pace of 32 to 35. He had
Which
those
bike
top
was he
Mavic
riding?
Asylum wheels, huh? See,
Which
his
bike was he
bike
riding?
was, he had nearly six bikes, okay? His bike was 10 to 12 years old, with which he did his first ram, maybe in 2011. But his wheels, he had top Mavic wheels.
Hmm.
And the bike setup and all, his bike was also very light, around 8.5 kgs only his bike was. So it was an
Okay.
amazing bike. I had a ride on it. So yeah, but I mean, any bike you use, riding at 35 kmph in Indian roads
Not
is
easy.
uh is a thing. Yeah, is a thing which, I
Yes.
mean, which is to be, experienced, and which is to be admired. I mean, he was an
Yeah.
inspiration. My 50% of the journey was over there only when I met this guy and heard about him. I mean, he's really, really, really too good
Super. Yeah.
as an athlete as well. Too good.
In your everyday riding, how did you do night riding also? Because riding
Yeah, I did
solo on the
night ride. I
highways,
night ride.
it is
Yeah, I mean, see, we had proper I had proper lights and rear lights and everything. So yes, I used to reach. See, when it was 250 kilometers per day, I used to reach by 9:30. But when it was
okay.
beyond 250, I remember, if I start my journey, first 2 days were good. First day in Kashmir had a lot of climbs. We reached together on the first day around 9:30. We had an avalanche on the first day. Second day was
Oh,
smooth. Then third day, I broke my spoke 70 kilometers before Delhi. So I
oh,
was being told there will be technical support, but there was no technical support available en route.
from the
So I just
organizers.
called a party and he was like, just tie it up with the tape and go on. So I was close to 1,000 kilometers that time. So I just tied the tape and went on till Delhi or Gurgaon. I halted. That day was a long day. Around I reached 11:30 or 11:15 odd. I reached. It was a 300-kilometer day. Then
Hmm.
the technician changed my spoke, and fourth day I rode aram se. I reached around 8:30 again, the 260-kilometer odd distance. Fifth day my
Hmm.
wheels started to wobble due
Hmm.
to the spoke. So I had to change my wheel. This organizer had a spare wheel, and that happened to be a stock wheel of a Cannondale. And next 4 days was climbing. So it took me 2 climb because it was a very basic wheel. So day number 5, 6, 7, 8, I did a lot of climbs. I would say to reach Maharashtra on day 7. MP,
Okay.
I reached Maharashtra by crossing Madhya Pradesh. So Madhya Pradesh had a lot of rains. So good
Oh,
part was the weather was good, but the bad part was the roads were very slippery. I fell down twice that day.
oh.
Luckily, I did not get hurt much. I fell down twice that day. I reached Nagpur. There, I told the organizer, you are good for nothing, because not even the basic facilities were given, and to climb with those basic wheels was very difficult. We expect you to have someone who can change the spoke immediately and give the wheel back. You are replacing a stock wheel for a carbon wheel. It is me who did it, or anyone would have done it, but then it takes a lot of effort and you cannot push your body, because you have to do the same distance again for next 10 days.
Hmm.
And when you are in event, you just cannot, let go things and just bash the organizer, because you are to do the riding again. You cannot
Yes.
spoil your mood for the sake of organizer, because my purpose was to complete K2K under any circumstances. So this
This was
happened
at
5 to 8 days.
means
Sorry?
approx 15 days, 1500 किलोमीटर के आसपास this happened.
हाँ, तो ये मैंने पेडल किया अराउंड, तो भी अराउंड 1,000 किलोमीटर्स के आसपास ये व्हील्स है, विच
Stock
इंक्लूडेड
wheels.
अराउंड, एक एवरेस्टिंग हो गया रहेगा मेरा उसमें, 8,848 मीटर, 4 या 5 दिन में उतना क्लाइंबिंग किया मैं। मतलब द रोड्स
Perfect.
ऑफ नागपुर, द रोड्स MP तेलंगाना, मेरे को हैदराबाद में व्हील मिला, तो आदिलाबाद
Hmm.
से मैं जाके हैदराबाद जा रहा हूँ वो एक दिन। तो इट वाज डिफिकल्ट, आई मीन रियली डिफिकल्ट। हैदराबाद में
Hmm.
रात को मैं चला रहा था कुछ 11:30 12 बजे। आई अगेन फेल डाउन इन हैदराबाद बिकॉज द रोड्स वेर टू बैड।
Oh.
तो बीच ट्रैफिक में मैं गिर गया था, मट्टी के बीच में। वो तो लकी है आसपास कोई था नहीं। And this organizer, what he used to do was he used to go home and 9 o'clock, but 9 बजे वो सो जाता था. तो उसको क्या ही
Go
बोलेगा तू?
home. Home
Yeah,
means
go home as in
they
go to
were
the
with
hotel.
you, na? Acha, go to the
No, they were
hotel.
not with me. It was just like a BRM only, what I told him. So he used to not
Ah,
come to receive also after 9 p.m. If he used to go and sleep. And the only good part was the with the organizer was he used to give proper food in the morning. The breakfast was very nice. The hotels were decent, but the
hmm.
en route support and the mechanical support were pathetic. So if you do these
Okay.
two things, and if you are not giving the mechanical support in such big rides, then it becomes a mere donation for the amount which I have paid. I don't know what I don't want to say what amount I paid or anything of that sort. But then yeah, that's how this was. If you see the events, NMKC does better events than the one he is doing in
NMKC.
BRM. I literally had to tell him that this is not a BRM. I need support. On the ninth day after, I would say, I was traveling. I got my wheels back. I was very happy. I was in a very good rhythm. 3.5 hours with all the climbs. I had done my 100 kilometer that day, and there was a puncture. So why there was
Okay.
a puncture? My wheel. I had two tires. I had a good spare tire. I had a new tire of Ultra Sport, and my existing spare wheel which was there that had Gator. So I told him, rear wheel gives puncture. Ultra Sport is not a puncture protection tire. Whenever you fix the tire, use gator skin only. And he did
Hmm.
not listen to my thing, and I had to take that Ultra Sport. And I was on
Oh,
the ninth or 10th day pedaling around 290 kilometers that day. My hands were numb, so it was very difficult to remove that puncture. Luckily, I got a tire. I mean, the local,
local
on
bike
the
shop.
highways, there are these people who
Yeah.
fix tires and all. Yeah. So that
Yes.
I got and that I got help through. So I was being told we cannot come back. I said, then what's the use of the organizer if you're not able to come back? My hands are numb on the 10th day. You expect me to remove a puncture? Is this a BRM?
Hmm.
Then he did some tube arrangements and all going ahead. I said, that is of no use. So yeah, I mean, okay, some of the other jugaad I was able to do and I managed to complete it. But then yeah, these basic things need to be kept in mind. If at all anyone is doing K2K, so I know
Hmm.
I told you the organizer, so it is up to the one who is listening whether you are to register with them or not.
Hmm.
So always think upon that. I had a different purpose and I knew कि कुछ भी हो जाए मेरे को कुछ ना कुछ तो जुगाड़ करके करना ही है. So this was my ninth day. Again, 10th, 11th and 12th day were smooth. My aim
Okay.
was to ride easy on the first 7 days. I rode very easy by the grace of God. I did not require any painkillers, any Red Bull or any kind of energy drink. My nutrition. So I used to have a very good nutrition. I used to have a heavy breakfast in the morning. Then those
Hmm.
cupcakes and all which I had taken. See, I don't believe in these gels and all a lot, frankly speaking.
Okay.
I go with the natural source, whatever I have. May that be simple chocolates like Dairy Milk, Kit Kat, or we get
Hmm.
cupcakes and all from Monginis or Honeywell or anything of
Okay.
that sort. Croissant I had, the Britannia croissant if you are aware.
Croissant.
So these
NMKC
basic
gives.
things I had. I had chickies. I had chickies. So I
Hmm.
resorted to these things out there. And by the
Hmm.
time and my lunchtime was strict, I was very particular with my food. So how many kilometers I clock, whether it is 110, 120, 130, 150 or 100. 1 to 130, I have to wait for a quick
Okay.
lunch. So
Okay.
whatever nearby dhaba or hotel I get, very nice, no, I'll get fresh food. So I used to have very simple dal rice and a buttermilk or lassi, whatever I get. I used
Okay.
to drink nearly 10 to 12 liters of water every day.
Yeah,
Have that food
definitely.
and then start leaving. Then I used to break around 4:35 p.m. or 5:30 as per the rhythm of the ride and
Hmm.
have the tea, biscuits so that I used to not wait till I'm hungry. I used to
Hmm.
if I know I'm going to be hungry and if there are no sources of food ahead, then I used to at least have a Kit Kat or a chikki or a cake
Hmm.
so that then I don't starve going ahead if I don't get anything.
Correct.
So that was my plan. If the nutrition is proper, I am good. If the body is
Hmm.
good, the rider is good. It was as simple as that. I did not complicate that. And I did not have
Hmm.
a race body. I knew that. I
Hmm.
won't be able to ride at 25 and 30 pace. Let's be practical and ride at a
Realistic.
pace of 22 to 25 so that we
Okay.
are able to complete it. We are able to get a good sleep That's how I used to plan. I used to start my day. Yes, today 280 kilometers. I'm starting at say 7:38. I have to finish
Hmm.
maximum by 9:30, 10. So how I
Okay.
manage is up to me. Because
Hmm.
if I ride at a consistent pace, I used to be less tired.
Correct.
Then you can take minimum breaks. I used to hardly take 2 or 3 breaks and ride on
Okay.
continuous basis because that
Hmm.
kept my energy. My cadence was good. My cadence, I had a cadence sensor, used to maintain
Yes.
around 65 odd cadence was there. So that cadence was
Okay.
good. My energy levels were good. And Synergal and Steadfast was what I used. I used the salt capsules wherein
Okay.
the salt was there.
Univates.
So Kashmir, it was -7 degrees. Slowly, steadily,
Okay.
it started to rise above 30 as I when I reached south. So this was
Yes.
how first 12 days went. So 13th day was another 200. I completed the 200 in good time, around 50 kilometers, around 5:30 p.m. I completed, and
Started
again
at
the
what
spoke
time?
broke. I started at what around 7:38 that day. So I was
Okay.
riding
It's
at a
10
good pace,
hours.
around 25, 25.3. Yeah, I was riding at a good
Nice.
pace.
Hmm.
So 13th day completed and my spoke broke in the hotel.
Again.
That
Okay.
time I was like, now I am screwed, boss, because it was a 13th day. Luckily, there was Madurai Randonneurs Kutti Muthukumar, and there was
Okay.
this one guy Gopal Krishnan who backed me
Okay.
up, and those people came and changed my spoke. I knew the way they change spokes. I knew this is going to give me trouble on the last day. So
Hmm.
I told them, is there any city? So they were of the view Tirunelveli is one of the cities from where you can get help also. There was a Codex
Okay.
Club, Nellai Randonneurs. So I
Okay.
told Kutti Vijay Kumar to keep them posted that so and so thing and so help might be required to me. Because from
Okay.
Tirunelveli, it was hardly 90 kilometers to Kanyakumari.
Okay.
And I don't know what 20 kilometers. I was at around 140 to 145 kilometers on the last day. I was riding at a good pace of around 26.5 to 27, and the spoke broke again. It was, I
Oh.
still remember the time, it was around 12:45 p.m. So 12:45 p.m. I was at around 155 to 160 kilometers and the spoke broke.
Hmm.
That worried me because it was last 90 kilometers, boss.
Yeah.
One thing in mind, my house is far. I'm not doing DNS with all these struggles I've done all alone. So then I called up these guys, this Kutti Vijay Kumar, and then he helped me with connecting that Madurai Randonneur some person. And then 12:31, I found a restaurant somewhere because there are all bypasses out there. The city is
Okay.
nowhere visible. So somehow,
Okay.
and there was a language communication problem there because these people don't understand Hindi, neither are they
Hmm.
comfortable with English. So
Oh.
I was in a soup as to what is to be done. Then
Hmm.
somehow it got managed, and I waited at a restaurant at around 1 p.m. Had some what puff, veg puff or anything which I got, and then these people came in and they started changing the spoke. The spoke was already moving. I said, now I don't need this spoke. If you have a spare bike, give it to me. Next day, how I come and take it is up to me. So they are like, yes, we have a spare bike. We have Merida Claris group set. I said, I don't give a damn about the group set now. It is last 90 kilometers. I can finish it. If it is taking 2 hours, it will take me 4 hours. It doesn't make a difference to me. I am in good time now. Give me a spare bike. So I lost 2.5 to 3 hours over there. So these people came at 4 p.m. and I got a
Okay.
spare bike, which was Merida Claris. Okay.
Okay.
And then with that bike, the bike composition was very haphazard. I said, now I don't give a damn. I have no, the thing was after Tirunelveli, there was nothing where I can stop and do these adjustments if it happens again. And being the last 90 kilometer, I said, you give me basic. I did not even carry the pump with me because the roads were very nice. I mean,
Yeah. I've
the roads were
heard.
good.
कि
16
South.
highways were there.
हाँ.
The roads in south were very good. So then, luckily, uh, I sailed through and I reached at 8:30 p.m. and reached Kanyakumari. So that was an
Super.
achievement in itself. I mean, I was very happy to be over the line. There was a time I called up Inder Paji, I remember. Inder Paji tells me there was a time when you did a DNF because your spoke broke before 6 kilometers. And now you broke 5 spokes and you completed 3,650 kilometers. It's a big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean that
journey
was a
है.
moment to rejoice. Really, I still have goosebumps saying this when I reached the finish line. So yeah, that was a moment. I
Of
mean, the
course,
ride
journey.
was very nice, but mechanical support, these challenge there will be challenges, some of the other challenges, but then that intent was always there because anyway there was no point of doing DNFs like DRM because house was very far, right? So yeah, some or the
He
other jugaad I did and got through.
was was he waiting for you? The your partner, the ramp
Yes, yes,
thing.
he was waiting at the finish point. He reached at
Okay.
4 p.m. only. He
When
completed at
you're
4:30 only.
when they gave you the bike,
No, 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 no.
correct?
That time he had reached. He might have reached
Okay.
by 4:30. I started 90 kilometers at 4 p.m.
Okay.
I reached at 8:30.
Okay.
He was
So,
waiting for me at the finish point.
yes, yes, nice. So
So this
14
was my
days,
journey if I summarize the entire 14 days.
approximately maximum how much you did in a one day?
Around
300?
250 to 300 kilometers. On an average, if you see, it will be around 275 kilometers. So
Most
last 3 days
difficult,
it was less. Most
hmm,
difficult part was
difficult part
day
was
7.
section. What
For
was the
me,
route?
it was day 7. See, for me, it was day 7 because I fell down twice.
Okay.
And then it was day 8 or day 9 when I reached Hyderabad. Hyderabad say Jadcherla. There is this place called Jadcherla. That was one of
Hmm.
the. So I fell down on the 7th day twice due to rains. And it was, roads were little slippery. I was on cleats. So yeah, the second day, I mean the 7th day was a little tough. Although the distance was not that great. I had reached around 10 p.m. on the same day. So
Okay.
yeah,
What
so that was
about,
a challenging day. And then it was the 9th day which was challenging.
okay, because of the
The
smoke.
9th day it was challenging. Ninth day
Reason?
I was to reach Hyderabad and Hyderabad had bad roads again. And then
Oh,
there were a lot of climbs over here due to which I had a stock wheel on the last day. It was the last day of my stock wheel. I was to get my carbon wheels on the next day. So I was
okay.
not able to climb and it took a lot of effort for me to climb. So that day was the only day I reached at 2 a.m., nearly 2 a.m. And
Barbara,
it was
2
around a
a.m.
100-kilometer distance. The next day again it was 285 kilometers, but then this puncture wala incident happened. But still
So,
I reached the day on time.
so I want to ask one thing. Like there is fixed
Yeah,
distance. Ki today we want to cover 250, 285.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now
That
some
was
days
a
you're
good part.
reaching, but someday you're reaching at 2 a.m. Now next day you have to cover the
Huh.
same similar distance. So hotel was already booked, or let's say you are
Yes.
not able to ride that much distance, so you can book another hotel. Is it like that? It was already booked.
No, we cannot stop
Oh, sorry.
earlier. We had to pedal that distance because the hotels were predetermined every day.
Okay. And with
Yeah.
respect to climbs का इतना
हाँ.
कुछ challenge नहीं लगा?
No, climbs were not challenging. If you have a good wheel, I don't
Hmm.
think the route is a challenge as far as. I mean, we are seasoned to climbs. I had the
Okay.
challenge mostly because of the wheel.
Not.
Bad roads can be taken care of because bad roads are not like 80 to 90 kilometers. They are hardly around 10-kilometer patch.
अच्छा.
So those can be taken care of. And the highways. So the 10th or 11th day when I reached Bengaluru, it was a 150-kilometer continuous climb.
Oh.
But then those times were like, I mean, we ride at Eastern Express. So Eastern Express se 5 times रहेगा वो ऊपर. But then if you
Okay.
climb, then there is a descent as well. So
हाँ.
that descent takes care of around 40 to 50% of the climb. And then
Okay.
you are in the rhythm. You just need to maintain your cadence to climb the balance. So
Hmm.
that wasn't a challenge for me, frankly speaking. The climbs weren't a challenge. The wheel was an issue. You need to
हाँ.
have better wheels and a better bike. That is for sure.
Okay.
If at all you're doing this humongous distance.
Not even in Srinagar
So
area
learning
because
per
over
se
there
also
there
I
are
learned a lot.
mountains.
It was my first time.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I was saying
Kashmir.
climbs का issue not even in Kashmir area in Srinagar because it's a hilly area. Na?
No, Kashmir also was manageable. See, Kashmir, the good thing, the good two things which I did was in Kashmir, I had carried a spare pedal. So those were I had carried cleats and I had carried a spare pedal because
Okay.
from the news which I was reading, I knew it was snowing in Kashmir. Keeping in mind the
Hmm.
snow, I said everything is okay. I have cleats and all, everything is fine. But if it is snowing and if you are to get down on constant basis,
Safely.
it is going to be difficult with the cleats. So I
Ah,
had taken the spare pedals, and I mean, I would say it was a good planning on my part because I changed the spare pedals to normal pedals and wore normal shoes. That
okay.
helped me big time because speed was not a matter there. It was a matter of safety.
Correct.
Because
Because of
Kashmir also
the.
had an accident for 1.5 kilometer, wherein
Hmm.
it was a complete mess. Our bikes were gone. It was a complete mess. So
Okay.
there I had worn normal shoes, which helped me, and the
Hmm.
normal pedals. Kashmir was
Okay.
also not challenging in case of climbs. It was manageable. I mean, we in Maharashtra have done so much. There was nothing like Bhorghat. There was nothing like Mathiran. There was nothing even like Khambakti, man. Leave everything else. I
So
mean,
then
the
to
climbs were all
challenge
not a challenge. It was a
not a
distance.
challenge.
See, to pedal
Distance.
50, 250 to 300 kilometers per day, you have climbs or you don't have climbs. It is going to be a challenge because you have to pedal it out.
Hmm.
So, how you pedal is upon us.
Correct. For weather conditions,
Yeah.
what did you do? You faced rain, you faced snow, then
I
heat
faced
also.
everything. I
Ah,
faced
the all
everything.
weather
So,
conditions.
I started at -7 degrees. Luckily, it
Yeah.
wasn't snowing that day. But then in Kashmir and all, there were, snow particles on the shoes. My shoes were so frozen, I was not able to move a leg. I mean, the inside finger I could not move. Our legs were frozen, literally frozen. So we
Okay.
managed to wait at some tunnel and all and get that heat which the locals have. And with that
Hmm.
local, one shoe tore off. So somehow I
Oh,
managed to pedal for 1.5 days with that
अरे वाह.
torn shoe. Yeah. So that thing was also there. So climbs
Okay.
and all, I mean, yeah, that was there. Then the heat started ticking in once we crossed Delhi and Delhi se we entered Dholpur. Dholpur
Hmm.
was good too. Dholpur was a Rajasthan border, and then we went ahead to UP.
Hmm.
So UP se it started 25, 28, 30, 32, 35. As soon as came close to MP, MP was good because it was raining in MP. So it
Ah.
literally was raining in MP and there was cloud cover, but then the routes were a little tacky because of the rain cover. So that day we descended. It was a good route. We went through the what you call Pench
Ah.
corridor, Tiger Pench
Okay.
corridor.
Yes, yes, yes.
Night riding was a little thrilling and adventurous because it was pitch dark. I was happy when I entered these big cities like Hyderabad. Even though there was traffic, I was happy because I could see people, I could see vehicles. I was
Civilization.
happy. Yeah, I mean, I could see civilized people. There's vehicle, there's people honking around and all. I said, "Okay, this is manageable." Instead of those, pitch dark nights, pedaling in the pitch dark nights, and you have a tiger board somewhere saying, if a tiger comes, you have to stop. I said, what the hell am I going to stop, man? I'm pedaling alone. It's a four-lane highway. There's no one on the road, and there are long
If you stop,
descents.
you die. Huh?
No, no, no. I did not stop, boss. I did not stop. I
Okay.
just rode. The climate and all was good, but then, yeah, it is a little thrill to ride solo in that night. You need to have strong, powerful lights. Well, I had two lights, two good lights, and one spare light. So I had one
Hmm.
Sigma ka light, one cat eye, and one spare cat eye.
How
Two
many
good rear
lumens?
lights as well. It was around one was 800 lumens, one was 1000 lumens, and the spare one was 400 lumens.
Okay, good enough.
So I did not
If
take
we,
any risk in lights. Yeah, yeah, good enough. Very good enough.
yeah, because night riding mostly maximum you would be doing for 6 hours, 7 hours from
Max,
6
max.
p.m.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The highways are unknown to you. Had I been in Pune or anything of that sort, even if the light is little here and there, you know what the roads are. Here,
correct.
everything is new, right?
Hmm.
So you're unaware.
Okay.
Saddle soreness,
So
if you talk about
yeah,
saddle soreness, see, nothing
correct.
worked for me except one. That was Kailash Jivan.
कैलाश
Trust
जीवन क्या
me,
है?
Kailash Jivan is an Ayurvedic lotion.
Oh,
Basic of the basic. I used it for 4 to 5 days. All my saddle
okay.
soreness was gone. All my saddle soreness.
You didn't use from
I mean, it
starting?
was, yeah, I used it from starting, from day one.
Okay.
I started facing issues of saddle soreness from day 4 or day 5.
Okay. Means after
First three, 4 days I was
1,000 kilometers.
good. First three, four
हाँ.
days I was good. But then
Hmm.
I used to apply that daily. So that was like my bum ka sati.
भाई सैडल सोरनेस
Yeah.
अगर हो जाता है ना प्रॉब्लम है बहुत. बट गुड गुड
Problem
समथिंग
तो
न्यू आई
है,
नेवर
but
हर्ड
then
अबाउट इट.
no, Kailash is very basic. It is very famous. It's a
ओके.
Ayurvedic lotion. You get
ओके.
it in every medical store, Kailash Jivan. And the best
Hmm.
part of it is you can apply it everywhere. It's antiseptic. You get a wound, you apply Kailash Jivan. Your skin is
Hmm.
dry, you apply Kailash Jivan. You can apply it everywhere. You can even eat that.
ओह.
That has those properties. Yeah,
अच्छा.
it is very nice. And it is a very, very old product. Very old product. मतलब अपनी
ओके.
दादी
ओके.
वगैरह यूज करती रहेगी वो.
हाँ अभी आयुर्वेदिक
Very
का सेइंग
basic.
देन. नाइस.
Yeah.
सो
It's a very old
चिराग.
product and it worked on me big time.
Hmm. So Chirag,
Yeah,
from
tell
your
me.
overall experience, what do you have any tips for anyone who wants to do this, Kashmir to Kanyakumari? One thing I understood is
See, I
having a good bike is one thing. Being properly nutrition wise. Anything else you want to add?
see, you should have a good bike. You should have proper nutrition. The most importantly, you should train well, boss. You should
Hmm.
not I mean, before training, train as much as you can. The period can be varying. I would say I would have I would have faced more less issues had I trained for a little longer time. So training is very
Oh.
important. There is no point in doing haphazard training. Have a
Hmm.
structured training
Structured training.
because every one of us works. I also work 12 to 14 hours a day. Keeping in
Yeah.
mind the work pressure, you have to accordingly train your body, get all those
Hmm.
muscles, activated, and then there is a point doing this rowing because you also have to enjoy the ride and
Correct.
do it from a proper organizer. So what I did, see, he was good, but then he lacked basic things like a bike mechanic, which is very essential. I was lucky enough to have good friends, to have nearby things where I could find things. But if it is not there, and
Yes.
if it happens somewhere in the middle of the road and you don't get help, there's no point quitting the ride if it is
Hmm.
such a big ride and if your body is good. So yeah, these
Correct.
are 2 3 things to be kept in mind and have a good backing like I had from my family, my closest of friend, a family member Nirali. Our cycling
Hmm.
fraternity was there. Sid used to call me every 2 days. Paji used to call me every 2 days. There was Rajat who used to track me. So you need
Ajit
these
Sharma.
people big time. Yeah, you need these people big time who support you. And I mean, these even the small call. For example, I did not upload 2 days activity on Strava. It was Anita who
Hmm.
called me up on the eighth day, saying that what happened? Are you all right? So
Oh.
even these small things help
Correct. Support
because
from
those
your
motivate
family.
you. Yeah, there are someone who are looking behind, and then they also want you to go ahead like others. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
even
that's.
I didn't know only. I got to know about this. Your
I
competition when
did not
Siddharth
see.
posted.
My part is I don't what you call. I don't do an advertisement because it is the event which you do it and then you tell people you train for
Um,
it because I don't do it. I mean, for the sake of anyone, I do it for myself. But
hmm,
yes, I mean, these are big events. You need to plan well and things go well, and then take a you tell to the public, I did this, I did that. But before it, no point. Then frankly speaking, as far as I know, our cycling fraternity, all you get is free advices with no solutions. So you know it better. Okay. I am not naming any people or any kind of thing, but yeah, that's the thing when it comes to
Okay.
these big events.
So lastly, let's take up some questions asked by people on Instagram.
Yeah. And
Okay.
lastly, I would
So
like to have a word for you as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So that we'll have it later.
definitely. So Girish Desai is asking, is Kashmir to Kanyakumari better or Kanyakumari to Kashmir, according to you?
See, I started from sky to ocean. You can do it from Kanyakumari to Kashmir as well. That will be a different thing altogether. I don't think there are very less people who have done it. So I don't
It will be.
think both ways are better. It is upon you how do you take it. I
Hmm.
don't think Kashmir to Kanyakumari is not better. Yeah, Kanyakumari to Kashmir is better. Both are better. Both will have its own challenges. Somewhere there
Ending
will
में,
be there where ascent will be on Kashmir route. So that
हाँ,
will be the thing.
during the end you will be
Yeah,
tired
yeah.
and
During the end, no. The thing is, see, na, when you start from Kanyakumari, you are fresh as Kashmir. So those climbs won't matter.
you're fresh as Kashmir?
Okay.
How?
No, no. You see, challenges, I say,
अच्छा अच्छा.
Kanyakumari, when you enter south, after you cross Bengaluru, the road is flat and there are hardly any climbs and you find descent. So there the descent helps because you are on the last, say,
Stretch.
800 kilometers or so, those descents help. But when you start from Kanyakumari, you are fresh. So those climbs
Yes.
won't be challenging just like Kashmir. When I start
Hmm.
Kashmir, it is full climb,
Hmm.
right? So I am telling it in that sense. So there will be
Got it.
pros and cons in both the routes, but the route remains the
Hmm.
same. It will be beautiful both ways.
Correct.
It is just that
And
you will be coming from. Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
नहीं, okay, I got it. Okay, next
Yeah.
question again by Girish Bisay is asking that if you were to do K2K again, what would you change? Example, training, bike, process, or would you do it with a crew support, or anything? Bike you would change, I feel so. Baki you can tell.
See, I will change the bike. I'll go for good wheels.
Okay,
I don't know. I mean, if at all I do again, I do a race or I do it self-supported also, it is possible. I don't know.
okay.
I mean, this the time will only be the answer. If at all I do it, then I'll make it. Yeah, I'm doing it. The good part is that I know 70% of the route, so I know where to
Hmm.
stretch and where not to stretch.
Okay. Next, Pandar Marathe is asking that how do you take time for cycling through your professional career? One thing you
See, it
told
is all
that,
in the mind. I said,
huh,
yeah, yeah. Tell me.
one thing you told that during weekdays you were doing indoor cycling. So that saved some time, I guess. And during weekends, long
See,
hours.
I guess Mandar Marathi is also chartered only. As if I remember, Mandar
Acha.
is like me only. He is into a much bigger post. I have a lot of respect for him. So see, it is all in the mind. When you think you also work 12 to 14 hours a day, if you are to do a particular task, it is like in a weekday you can just give your body 1.5 hours. That is all a
Hmm.
body demands. So any which ways you do it in the morning or you do it in the evening, 1.5 hours you can give it to your body how much pressure you have in your professional life. So that is manageable. So I managed it. It was difficult for me first 2 3 weeks, but then that consistency was so much that if I miss a training Monday, I was like, yeah, I missed my training. I should have done it. So yeah, but it is
Hmm.
difficult for first 2 weeks with work pressure and all to handle. But once you're used to it, it's your body that demands 1.5 hour of uh,
Training.
the time for yourself. So
Correct.
yeah, that is how I did it. And frankly speaking, my employer also backed me. I had got my leaves
Okay.
approved in the month of October or November because then
Okay.
I also had to inform my office prior so and so I'm doing it. So you cannot just take leave 1 month before it. So I had got my leaves approved in October or November. I had informed my
Hmm.
office as soon as I started my training so that nothing comes up and they are not new to my leave as it is a planned leave. So that is how I
Okay.
did it.
Nice. Good to know. Then lot of other people have also asked questions like Kashinath Parab, Dhiru Cheda, Subodh,
Oh, okay.
then Soumya Pita, but their questions are answered. And lastly, let's take up the question of Aniket Gund, who is asking, who is your inspiration?
Who is my inspiration? Well, my inspiration
Yes,
is my father, I would say.
yes.
I mean, he taught me cycling when I was 2 to 3 years old, maybe. That was my first cycle. So it was my father who is my inspiration. He is the reason I have done a lot of trekking. I am into cycling. I'm into sports. I'm into these marathons. He used to
Hmm.
back me up for every. My mother also backs me up. Obviously, my parents are my inspiration. They backed me up. It was my mother's nutrition which helped me scale
Yeah,
this, and she backed me up to do these big events. Backed me up with the nutrition
nice.
2 months back. So yeah, my parents are my inspiration.
Very nice. Very inspiring
Yeah.
journey. So yeah, that's it for the podcast. You wanted to say something? Any closing notes?
A big thank you to you for providing me an opportunity to talk about my experience and hear me out.
Arey, it's okay, bhai. It's always
Uh,
good to listen to stories and inspire other people, basically. Now, see, after listening to
yeah, yeah,
this, maybe now a lot of people know you. Before
yeah, yeah,
before
yeah.
this before this podcast, also a lot of people know you. Now they will
Right,
see
right,
that you
right.
have done the journey you have gone through
See,
from 200
true, true.
to till now 40,600 kilometers. So even
I
though
know,
there are a
right?
lot of DNFs, you still did it. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that
great
DNS
then.
were out of musty. One should not do the
Actually,
DNS.
you should
That
do.
was my musty.
Yeah, you could have
Yeah,
walked last 4 kilometers, last eight
that's okay,
kilometers.
man. Okay, that's a history now. That's a history. So
Okay.
just last thing, if I can do it, if an amateur rider can like me can do it, there's anyone who inspired to do it can do it. But yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
there are going to be things which you need to plan and then you go about doing it.
Hmm. Do you think if you have better equipment, you can do it in less than 14 days?
I can do it in 10 days. This route
Actually,
is
you can do
manageable
it.
to be done in 10 days comfortably.
Okay.
If you have a proper bike, if you plan well, 300 kilometers in a day is very much manageable. Very much manageable.
Self-supported. Self-support.
Self-supported is also possible.
Okay, nice.
You should
Race
plan it
across
well. You
India is
should plan
coming
it
up.
well in a way. Sorry?
Race across India is coming up in October then.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'll participate or not. But yes, preparing a race body is important. You never know
Yes.
what's lying ahead. But yes, I will
Hmm.
never reveal my cards, what I'm
Next
going to do
plan.
ahead or what not. Yeah, next plan will
This was a
be after the
surprise.
planning and after it is done.
हाँ, that's your plan. और उसका उसका
Yeah,
opposite is
yeah.
Puru. पहले ही सबको बता देगा कि I'm going to do this.
Everyone has their own this thing,
हाँ,
man. I mean, Puru is a different
हाँ,
game player. I am a different game player. So yeah, full
yeah.
respect to Puru. It is how
Okay.
he deals with it. It is how he feels motivated. I
Hmm.
am a different kind of a person.
Yes, great. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Chirag, for
Let's catch up
sharing
on
your
a ride, mate.
experience. Definitely.
Yeah.
I've also put it on indoors only. Here only my cycle is there. So,
Great, great, great. Thanks,
and if you
Anish.
enjoyed this episode, everyone, do share it with your friends in your cycling groups and follow Chirag on his social media on Strava to see what his next upcoming
Oh
plan
my
is.
God.
Till then, I'll see you in next cycling video. Bye bye.
Thanks so much, Anish. Good day.